do have a machine here that is designed to run as fast as 17.5 miles an hour in the field. But in order to make sure that we keep that comfortable for you in the operator station so that you can maintain that, we need to keep proper PSI in our areas. First point is the tires. So the front tires, the big tires up front, we want to make sure we have about a 20 PSI. We also have the deluxe cab suspension. We want to make sure this is also set about 20 PSI. This is going to give you the proper air ride in the cab. And then the last piece. Now, no doubt we already have the Glide Rider system managing a lot of the rear end bucking for us, but the tire is still very important. So basically, in summary, quick numbers to remember: big tire 20, cab suspension 20, rear tire 15. If you remember 20, 20, 15, that's going to give you your proper air pressures to make sure that you get the best ride in that cab so you can maintain and handle that comfortably at speeds of up to 17.5 miles per hour. Now that we're in the cab, just want to go through a couple key settings to make sure we do have everything set properly to get our high quality hay. First one is definitely the pitch of the head. As you can see, as I make the adjustments, you can definitely run the risk of having pitch too high up, which means you're not getting the low cut quality as far as bringing as much crop as you want to bring in, but you can also run the risk of having it too low. And then that runs a lot of different potential for damages. So we want to make sure we keep the head as level as possible. What we recommend in most scenarios, most conditions, about 6 is a good setting to have. Now I'm going to go to the header settings. We want to look at our header float. Now once again, I can increase or decrease my flotation. If I get too much float in it though, I'm going to be riding too high off the ground, and I'm going to make the head too sensitive to any changes in terrain, and you'll end up having a not low enough cut, which will then mean you're not bringing in all the hay you could bring in. Vice versa, if you run too low, you're putting too much pressure onto the ground, too much weight, and once again, a little bit harder on the head and your skids, but it's also then obviously harder on the ground because you're then potentially getting too close for your cut and height to the ground. Since this is a twin max head, we do have the 2 conditioners, big dry down advantage, but there's a little bit more weight to it. And even though this crop's a little bit short, it's not really tall, we want to make sure that we have what we're going to run is right at 1150 PSI for our head flotation. The other key we want to look at is our disc head speed. Now I can adjust this to be its own speed. So that's obviously going to be independent of the engine. Our engine will stay maxed out at 2160 RPM, but I can adjust the speed all the way up to 2500 RPM. However, especially in crops that's not as tall, maybe a little bit thinner, this is far too fast, because when you run your disc head too fast, it actually creates a blowing effect that will blow that lighter, shorter crop over, and then it's going to not get its cut. It's going to blow it to the ground, and you won't get it cut. And then the next day especially, you'll see it start to creep back up and stand. You're going to have poor cut quality, not getting all the hay cut as well, which means it won't get baled. So you want to be able to slow that head down really as slow as possible so that you're bringing in nice full swaths and you're not getting that blowback. What we're going to do for this crop, we're going to drop it down to 1800 RPMs to get us, a slower, nice speed. We're going to run about 12 to 14, maybe even 15 mile an hour. That's going to keep the head nice and full, because keep in mind with a disc head, to make sure you get the premium cut quality and conditioning possible, you got to keep it full. Keep that head full as you go through. So with that, let's go ahead. We're actually got the monitor set up. We got our settings going. We're about ready to go start making some high quality hay.